What's going on, everybody? It is a Thursday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ with you, along with Muncie. We got Mac with an angry face or something, man, constipated, something. And then we got Quinn in the G. Berkeley Farm Studios. Gentlemen, how are we today? Did you rip one?
No.
Really did.
Pissed off by internet.
The internet's been a crap storm all day today, and I think it's all over. Who do you have for internet, Billy?
The monopoly of Youngstown.
He's got dial-up.
Armstrong.
Oh, well, we're partnered with Armstrong, so don't be too brash on them.
They might be a beef today.
Don't be no. Sponsors cannot be beef. That is rule number one. We don't turn on our people.
Anybody can catch these hands or beef.
Billy's just throwing beef around.
Well, there we go. All right, let's get to it, right? National Have Fun at Work Day. We have fun at work every day. My question to you is, what is the most fun you've had at work ever? I don't care if it's here, anywhere. Go ahead. Paul, you're first. You've had the most work.
Yeah, I really have. It's embarrassing, I guess, to a point that I've had as many jobs as I've had in my life. Man, the most fun I've had at work. Might have to come back to me on that. Let me think about that.
What about the prison softball you do?
Yeah, but that's not really. I guess that's God's work that we're doing. But I mean, that's really fun.
God's work that you stayed alive during all those.
I mean, it is fun. I mean, Tristan's done it with us a couple times too. It's fun to go down there. I mean, I guess you call it God's work because we go down there and it's a church group that goes down there, a church team that goes down there and plays. And
read that, Billy.
Yeah, and but yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, you have to watch yourself while you're down there because
you're playing with prison people.
I mean, and they're supposed to be the guys that have good behavior, so they're allowed to play. But listen, they tell us to banter with them and talk some smack. And there's a couple guys there that know how to talk the smack. I mean, they can get in it, but they know it's crazy I know we're going a little off topic, but they know they find the one guy. Those guys will find the one guy that they know they can just start poking and poking and poking, and that kid's gonna snap. And they found one the one year we were down there, and we actually were scared for a little bit that we thought something was gonna happen because they kept poking this kid, and he turned around in the field and he goes, "Yeah, well, my ass is walking out of here today, and yours isn't." And you should have saw all of us in the field. We're all like, "Oh," there's only 4 guards that are standing there, and there's 150 inmates.
I would have put my glove down on exactly where I was. I would have walked route, probably climbed the fence, jumped over the barbed wire, and I never come back.
Yeah, it was dude, we never brought that kid back again. Trust me, but it was wow, because if they come at us, there's nothing to stop us.
Listen, there's nobody that loves slow pitch softball more than I do. Super competitive. Tristan came up to me, and you have to understand Tristan. Tristan he's an idea guy. He'll 1,000 miles an hour. He's a rubber ball in a concrete room. He comes up to me and goes, "Hey, I got a great idea. Why don't you come with me to this prison? We're going to play the inmates." And I was like, not a chance. Not a chance. God bless the inmates. God bless the fact that, Paul, you want to do this. You couldn't pay me enough money to do that.
It's fun. Sometimes there's a lower prison and an upper prison, and the upper prison is where actually the better guys are. The one guy we were playing against.
When you say better guys, are you talking about talent or what they've done to go to prison?
No. No. Yeah. No, talent-wise, the upper prison has the better team. The one guy played NFL football. He played in the NFL. And
Ray Lewis.
What's that?
Ray Lewis.
No.
Ben Roethlisberger.
He played at Kentucky and then went to the NFL, played 2 years, washed out, went back to Kentucky, got hooked up with some of his old buddies, went to Florida and robbed 9 banks. And he was there. This dude was unbelievable.
It's because they don't get paid in college, right, Quinn?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
We went to rob 9 banks.
Yep.
Hey, Amo says 300,000 clicks in January. LFG. That's right, buddy. LFG. That is a big one. All right.
Making a splash, boys.
Whew. Billy, most fun you've had at work?
It's so you understand because I work is baseball to me, but it's not really work. So it's hard. Most people would be like, "Hey, you're living that retired life, basically coaching baseball," and it's really enjoyable every day. I love what I do. I have a lot of fun with the kids. Every day is a new experience. I mean, it seems that every day I go to work, I enjoy it and I love it, and we have fun every day. Is one day more fun than the other some days, but I can't. I really have started to build this thing every winter where we call the alumni guys that'll come back from future Baird and Astro guys will come home and from college, and we'll get together. We'll do live at bats. I'll throw them up on a live stream, and that kind of seems to be one of our most fun days, and all the kids kind of remember them, and it's a good chance for them to come back home and have a little fun.
You can always count on Bailey for throwing in a right hook whenever we're just jabbing. Betos looks like John Goodman from The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
All right, Quinn.
The girls refer to him. They're like, "Is that the guy who hides behind the buildings?" I'm like, "Yes, that's Jeff, the guy who hides behind the buildings."
Yeah,
You're not going to be sitting here ripping on my A-team companion here.
Oh, really? You're going to stop us from
holding on you? You're going to catch these hands or beef.
You mean the one that bailed on you and I drove?
Yeah, the one you were throwing under the bus like 2 days ago.
Yeah, but it's okay that I can throw him under the bus because he's part of the A-team.
Okay, well, he's part of our team, so we can all rip on him a little bit.
Hey, you guys didn't even know each other before you started at YSN.
Well, to be fair, I'm supposed to just stick up for Jeff for just a little bit, and now I did, and you guys go back to your regular scheduled program.
All right, Quinn, back to you.
He just wants it on film that he at least backed him up once.
He's going to completely take everything out of context and just cut that part out.
Yep.
Quinn, go.
Jeff did go viral, so a lot of people know him without actually knowing him.
That's true.
Jeff didn't go viral. The situation went viral.
Yeah. But it's still Jeff.
It's like Billy's in the Hall of Fame, so
Jeff is viral. There's a difference between Jeff going viral and Jeff being viral. He is a viral human being.
So the most fun I had, it was probably when I was at YSU, just getting to travel with the football team, being on the sideline for a ton of big games and stuff like that. Being on the sideline for the national championship game, that was probably the most fun I've ever had. So.
Respect. Well, happy National Have Fun at Work Day to all of you guys. Hopefully you have fun each and every day here on the Power Hour. But we got some stuff to talk about.
What was yours?
I've had a lot of fun in everything I've done. I mean, it's hard to put one above the rest. The last job I had was selling mattresses on the way to kind of the crossover from YSN. That was fun because you got to. It's a mattress. It's a mat. I never took a nap. Never took a nap. I worked harder. I promise this. I worked harder selling mattresses than you've worked a day in study hall in your life.
Oh, I guarantee that.
That is 100% because you're hustling selling mattresses. You're doing what you can, and building YSN at the same time was pretty difficult. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of times I got mixed up on what I was doing at the same time because I'd be trying to build a YSN promo or something, and somebody come in for a mattress by appointment. So, I had a lot of fun doing that stuff. Can I tell you this? I'm trying to get rid of this cough. I'm like more than anything. I'm hustling trying to get rid of this cough. I looked up the best cough suppressant, the best cough whatever it is. Go to Rite Aid. Get the best cough medicine on the market, Robitussin.
Tussin. Get some Tussin.
Put some Tussin on it. Better tasting, better acting, whatever. Got it, right?
Grape
whatever. It is raspberry.
Oh.
They could have told me that it was peach, mango, whatever, the most delicious. It tastes just like it did in 1992. When it's that disgusting, like, spicy cherry, like, all the way down. Like, you got to have a chaser. Like, it's bad. real bad. Shame on you, Robitussin, for trying to pull one over on me.
Yeah, but what if that like nasty stuff as it goes down your throat is supposed to be the soothing part that helps your cough, and now you're chasing it down and washing it all away?
I don't know.
See?
Yeah. Damn it!
I don't listen. Listen, I'm not listening to Dr. Munson on this one. There is no way I'm signing off on this.
Oh, the hesitation says it all, though.
It's supposed to soothe your throat as it goes down and help your cough.
Well, it's supposed to break up mucus and break up everything that's in your chest. Nothing's broken, man. Nothing. And here was the other part. And not to knock the lady that was checking me out, like at the counter, but you have to be 18 to buy it now, I guess, because people get drunk off Robitussin.
I got drunk off NyQuil once.
You make meth on it.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think that's part of it too. Yeah.
So my thing was, I gave her my date of birth, and she goes, "Oh, you got a birthday coming up?" And I said, "Yep." She goes, "Mine's the 3rd." And she goes, "I'm probably older than you." And I was like, "Well, you probably know that because I just gave you the year I was born."
Yeah.
I mean,
playing with house money, lady.
like, come on. If we're showing our cards, mine are already on the table. Let's see what you got. But I just kind of looked at her like that hesitation that you like, Mac, like that just stop. That's what I gave her because I didn't know if she was messing with me or what was going on. So
plus you don't want to call her out and be like, I bet you are older than me, and she'd be like, what's that mean?
Well, that's a jerk move. Like we all know that you don't call out. Number one, you never call out weight on a woman.
Nope.
You never call out their birthday. So
and don't ask them if they're pregnant.
Yeah, well, why would you ever do that? That's not even on the board.
I'm just, what I'm saying. Like sometimes, there's those options that you're out there like, oh man, she looks like she's pregnant, but no,
what?
Because you'd be like, oh, when you expect it, and be like, oh, I'm not. And it happens. I've never done it. I'm not saying I never done it, but socially, you've seen there are people out there that do
I
that.
guarantee there's a moment in your life where you thought to go up and ask somebody, be like, oh, you're having a baby. What is it?
Yeah, no, because anybody I knew that was like that, they were with somebody I was with, so I was like, I knew who they were.
That's just Paul Munson. That's just Paul. I get it. While we're talking here, Chris Ziegler, a fan of the show, a fan of our network, says, I believe you put the A-Team on notice the other night. And I believe I did. The A-Team was, I wouldn't say they were one-upped, but the first time ever, Chris Ziegler, and you had Dr. David Dees in United doing a boys-girls double-header, double time, their first time on the network. That's A-Team stuff. That's A-Team stuff.
Yeah, I shared it on our thread. I was like, A-Team got called out tonight. And
that's cool. That's really, hey, congratulations on your first doubleheader.
Here comes Billy.
I don't. Chris is going to be popping up here for sure. Do not take any women advice from Muncie. That's coming from his wife.
Yeah.
Paul, I used to have to sit on him when he was a kid to get him to take Tylenol.
There you go.
There's truth to that. There's also truth to me being in 7th grade, and you have to. I don't know if it was MMR shot or what it was. I'm terrified of needles. I can't watch needles go into anybody, anything. Like you could put it into an orange peel, I'd still lose feeling in my legs. Let me just tell you, she comes up behind me. I have a glass of water, putting tap water into a glass. She comes up behind me with a needle and injects me with whatever it is.
She pulled the old okey doke, like, whoop, bang!
She
is like, look over here. What?
Trust issues with my own mother from that moment on. Chris says, I know I made it if I fired up Billy. There it is. Chris knows. He's officially on. He's YSN because he's pissed you off.
I'm happy.
It was the hepatitis shot.
Always glad to have new announcers.
I didn't get the hep.
Yeah. DJ, you got some explaining to do.
She's going to call me out like that. You wonder why I have trust issues? There it is. There it is. Paulie, before we get too far into this, naturally we're 20 minutes in. We have shutdown updates. We got some teams that are shut down for the people out there. I know Palestine boys shut down until the 6th, I believe.
Again? Was it like their 12th shutdown?
Boys, it's our first. Girls have been shut down twice now.
Yep. Niles boys are down to the 8th.
East boys are down. We know that East
boys-
girls are down.
East girls are down.
Camel's done for the year for the girls.
Yeah, their girls team's done
That's
for the year.
numbers. That's not COVID.
Yeah.
What else did we see? I'm trying to think the other one that we just – Letonia boys.
Yeah. The Bears.
This is why we should be doing a conference tournaments Thursday through Sunday.
Love it.
Get them out the way while you can, because this isn't over.
Well, yeah,
and
because
conferences and schools need to be figuring some things out, because they might only have a small window. You'd hate to go into the tournament because you already seen what OSHA did, and they're just going to say you're done. So this gives you a chance to potentially at least do something here in the Valley for your school and for your conference.
A couple leagues have already said that at the end of this week that they won't make league games up after this for like girls. Boys is going to be all the way through next week. But like with Niles being out right now, I already got emails that said like there's a couple teams that like they're going to miss those games with them, and they're not going to make them up because they're going to miss next week. So, I agree with you, Billy, because now you're looking at they're not even going to make up league games. They're just going to go with the schedule and do the best they can. So,
plus, I really want to just sit down and watch like 12 high school basketball games in a row, like March Madness stuff.
Think about if you're at a bar or B-Dubs or somewhere like that they have got multiple TV risers because they're a sponsor. You go to risers and you got TVs everywhere, and you've got a different game on every television. That's
great.
That's the vision right there. So I would love conference. I know we talk about it. I want to be the guy that pushes this over and says, listen, we need to start doing conference games, conference tournaments in every sport but football. Every sport but football.
I mean, the only thing that you worry about is the only thing I disagreed with when we talked about it the other day is I don't think you can have all the teams at one place.
Why?
Just because you've seen when they had a lot of these teams that did these holiday classic things, there was at least a team or two that came out of that end up all of a sudden they were shut down afterwards because of COVID. I think you treat it with you if you have 8 teams, top 4 teams are the home seed. They play their games.
But it doesn't. At that point, it doesn't matter, Paul. Like your point is null and void because
you're trying to use the window.
Yeah, if you knock out 2 teams, the tournament's done anyway.
But
it's flawed.
Are you doing it before or after the OHSAA tournament though?
Before.
Okay, so now you just knock that team out and they can't go play in the OHSAA tournament now.
So what's the difference if it was a conference game or another game?
Because if they're playing, if you're putting 8 schools all together in one building, then it's a recipe for disaster. I think, if you ask me.
You guys seem to get away with it.
What's that?
You guys seem to get away with it at South Range
until the next week when 2 teams went down with COVID. So that's what I'm saying. There were teams that got sick after our tournament. There were teams that got sick after other holiday tournaments that happened this year because of all the contact that was there. So that's my thing is like, and even though you were shuffling them in and out, you still had a lot of that contact going on. I think top 4 teams host, and then you're down to a semifinal. Then I think 4 teams.
But then you've got 4 places. You got 4 places that you have. Like, I can get behind 2. Like, if you're going to stretch it, you go to 2 places.
But there are 4 schools that we have as our in our network. So you say those 4 teams are being a host, and they host, and you go from there. And then when you're down to the semifinals, it could go to one spot when you get to your semifinals.
But then if your team, like, why that's not. What's the advantage for winning the regular season? Nothing, because then, well, if you win the regular season, then you could be the number 1 seed, and you're going to have a first round game at home, and then after that or maybe you host then the semifinals too. But what if you get bounced at home in the first round? Like, that's the thing is like the school should get benefits for their team placing first throughout the season. Like, they host the tournament.
But also, a lot of teams right now aren't even going to crown league champions because of not being able to play everybody. So
Lower
a lot of
seed
teams have already said there's no lower seed.
Higher seed host.
Yeah, I think he meant higher seed there.
I think he meant lower number.
Lower number.
Higher seed.
Yeah. So if you're the number 1 team, you get to host.
Yeah.
I can see EB right now. All right, Paul. All right, Paul.
You said the same thing. Don't blame
I
it
did.
on me.
I know, but you know you're going to get the blame. It's not going to be
Of
me.
course
It's going to
I am.
be all
Which
right,
is
Paul.
fine. That's all right.
I really want this conference thing to work. I really want it to work. I think it's brilliant. It's genius. Mike Swinehart gave me examples that they're already doing it in places here in Ohio.
It just seems like we're the only state that doesn't do it. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like,
Sounds familiar, right?
like we're living in the 40s here, people.
Sports betting. Yeah, that's illegal. See, you can't spend your money where you want to. See, and then you got all this crap going on in the stock market right now. We can't even bet on it.
Yeah.
That's crazy, Billy. You and I talked about that before the show. The world is upside down right now. It's completely flipped over. Dave Portnoy ripping people, saying he's gonna burn down Robin Hood to the ground. This is incredible. Paul, are you in on stocks?
No.
It's nuts. How these wrestling tournaments worked out? Has there been issues? We haven't heard a single one.
Not one. No, I mean, it blows my mind. It blows my mind that the wrestling has gone almost the entire season, and I haven't heard of one team being shut down.
Not one.
I mean, unless it's happening and we don't know and nobody said anything, but they just had the big Hefner tournament at Fitch.
Josh Hefner, yep.
I mean, so that was huge tournament there. I mean, everybody else had tournaments. Your NE8s had theirs, other big schools, and it's like these kids are fine. I mean, it's the basketball teams that are shut down that are getting
Which
shut
makes
down.
no sense to me. None.
Yeah.
I don't get it. How is it just confined to Well, Quinn, you're the basketball guy. How is basketball taking the brunt of all this?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I went to one wrestling tournament and it was like 150 degrees in there, so maybe it just doesn't survive in the heat. I don't know.
See, there it is.
I can't tell you. I really
Crank up the heat in these basketball gyms.
I mean, I've watched wrestling and they're like blood, snot, like nasty things all over the mats and stuff. They clean it all the time and all that, but like I don't get it. I don't know.
That's how I got COVID, because Potesta turns the freaking air off for 3 hours a day, and COVID is attracted to cold.
It's got to be 170 degrees.
What is it right now, Quinn?
Cold.
Cool.
59 degrees. A toasty 59 degrees in here. Did you want to hit that, or?
Touch the heat and you're fired. Simple.
71 in my room. Sorry.
What is it?
71.
It's supposed to be 72 in here.
I know it's a blizzard outside at the moment.
Yeah, it's snowing in here too, so don't worry.
Really? A blizzard?
Yeah.
There's not a snowflake
Nope.
dropping right now.
Not one here either.
Well, there's about 1,000 dropping as we speak in Boardman, Ohio.
Okay.
Billy just looked at the wall.
There's no window behind him. He's just staring at the wall. He's like, yep.
There's a big window right here.
Well, he does have some bad internet, so he might be 4 hours behind us now. So
Yeah. Yeah. West Coast Billy now. All right.
No, now
Paige
you're
says it
pissing
has-
me off, and
Pager's got some snow, apparently. All right. Paul, what else? I mean, those were the only shutdowns that I can remember.
Yeah, that are recent. I mean, we still got, like I said, now that's probably, without exaggeration, anywhere from 12 to 15 programs that are down, whether it's a boys team or a girls team in our network right now. So
But no wrestling teams.
no wrestling. Nope, wrestling's still
yeah,
going.
or bowling or swimming. That's just crazy.
Swimming shouldn't be shut down. You know why? Because you're in chlorinated water. Like, you are in a vat of COVID, anti-COVID juice. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk about before we get to the YSN rundown, before the break, Actually, we'll do the break and we'll come back to this because I think this could be very interesting. Officially, Adam Schefter coming out today and saying that Deshaun Watson wants a trade.
Yep.
What's
he made
the
it
trade?
official.
What's the trade value for the Texans Watson? There was some Steeler fans, there were some Steeler blogs out there saying, would you give up TJ Watt, 2 first-round draft picks, and a couple second-rounders for Deshaun Watson?
Not good enough.
For Deshaun Watson?
You heard what I said.
Okay. We will discuss this when we come back. Also, we were going. I already put into the comments our sideline store, which officially launches tomorrow. We're going to have all kinds of graphics and some cool stuff to hand out. But if you want to jump on it now, if you want your YSN stuff one day earlier, head there now. It's our BSN sideline store for your sports network. You have 20% off up till the 31st. So there you go. They extended that deal. So 20% off everything until the 31st.
Through the weekend.
Yeah, you got the weekend, and then it's February. So check out the Sideline store. We're also going to touch on Detroit Mercy Women's Program shutting down over abuse allegations. This is a topic that we're kind of staying away from until we got all the facts and evidence. This is an interesting one because this is college, and you've got parents getting involved. Is it the right thing to do? Did they pull the right cord on pulling the rug from the Detroit Mercy Women's Program? We'll talk about that. We'll also give you games at a glance right here on YSN, and of course your G. Burke Farms. What's your beef? Back after this on the YSN Power Hour, presented by Myers Family Insurance.
High-res Futurecast shows steady snow for the next few hours.
Still just downright cold.
It is bitter out there.
Several strong bands of lake effect snow.
Wind is kind of the big story today as well.
So if you need a more detailed winter forecast on WFMJ.com and the Storm Tracker 21 app.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
I went to Greenwood Chevrolet because I was really interested in looking at the tracks.
Because I wanted my dream truck.
Because I've been going there for 20 years.
I'm really happy that I went to
Greenwood Chevrolet.
Because they really went
the extra mile for me.
Now we're going the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley, Paul Munson, Quinn Pushkar, MIA, and you've got Billy Mack. Billy Mack, before the break, I asked you if you were the Steelers GM, if you would accept a trade to get Deshaun Watson, and only Deshaun Watson, from the Houston Texans for TJ Watt, the AFC Defensive Player of the Year, 2 first-round draft picks, and a pair of second-round draft picks, and you said not enough. Why?
He's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I mean, Pro Football Focus has him ranked number 4. I mean, he was first in passing yards this year. Yeah, their team wasn't very good, but that team was a fire sale from the start this year. Coach is gone, GM's gone, all kinds of organization issues, top to bottom. So it's not really on him. Got rid of their best wide receiver this year. So, and the kid balled. I mean, he balled out. He's a mobile quarterback. He's already come back from an injury. Yeah, I hear your issues with mobile quarterbacks, and I don't care because the talent that he's got, he's an excellent quarterback. Again, coming off of an injury, top four in the league. Left exactly where he left off from an injury. The kid's worth 4 first-round picks. And if you look back, if you go back and you kind of look at like an Andrew Luck, even an RG3, that was kind of set the tone for a high-ranked quarterback, a guy in his prime. That's what I'm asking for if I'm the Texans.
Wow.
You think you're getting that from anybody?
No.
It depends on who. I think there's a possibility. I think if you're a team that's looking to go and win a Super Bowl, and you need a quarterback, that's your guy.
Quinn, would you give up 4 first-round draft picks for Deshaun Watson?
No, I wouldn't. And now I'm speaking as a Browns fan, so
what would be the trade value for Watson?
I would say probably 2 firsts. I would say 2 firsts and maybe a second. Maybe. I mean, it just depends on what the Texans want. I mean, I know that they have absolutely no draft picks this year that are worth anything, basically. So, I mean, they could
have a first or a second.
I mean, if they could recoup a lot of their stuff from this year that O'Brien got rid of, then, I mean, it's one of those things where I guess they could ask that. But I think Watson has all the leverage, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think Houston has any leverage whatsoever.
Well, he's under contract. I would say Houston has a lot of leverage. They don't have to trade him.
No, but he can also say,
all that stuff.
Peace.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit here and chill
That's
out.
going to be a violation of his contract.
People sit out all the time. I mean, he won't get paid, but naturally,
yeah, he won't get any money.
He had guaranteed money.
He can go and retire, but they're going to go ahead and get all that money back from him.
Not the guaranteed money.
He doesn't need to worry about that for a little while.
He just signed a 5-year extension. There's guaranteed money still left on the table right now.
What do you mean there's guaranteed? Guaranteed money is he gets the money.
Right, there's guaranteed money and there's signing bonus still left. Like there's a lot of money that the Texans can go and get if he decides to not play.
No, the guaranteed money, Billy, is if he plays or not, he gets that money.
Yeah.
If he sits out, if he sits out, there's gonna be a breach of contract somewhere in there, and
he doesn't get the money. He doesn't get the money for his playing fulfillment, which is I think 4 years, $120 million.
Yeah, but anything guaranteed, whether you like pick up and go, I'm gonna go be a hobo. You're guaranteed that money. You get it no matter what. They can ask for the signing bonus back. Or things like that. Or
I'm sure there'll be a fat lawsuit in going right towards Deshaun Watson if he decides not to play.
They'll trade him long before.
All over that.
Yeah, they'll trade him long before they get into that stuff. He'll be a Jet, or he'll be like a place where he will rot and die, and not have an opportunity to be anything. And if
unless he's got some say, I mean, like some team, some players put they can veto a trade themselves.
That's usually not in football. That's more in baseball and hockey than it is in football.
I don't think Cleveland. I don't think Pittsburgh's in the running for him. I mean,
I don't want him to be in the running for him.
I think whoever.
No, even because you see, I see the Steeler fans out there going, "We should all be great to get." Like this year's bad because Big Ben is just such a huge cap hit.
Well, let me say this, because I was looking at this before they came on the show, and I don't know if this ties into what we're talking about or not, but Joe Rutter at the Trib saying Art Rooney II on Ben Roethlisberger, and this was moments before the show came on. We've left that door open. We've been upfront with Ben in letting him know that we couldn't have him back under the current contract.
Well,
yeah, that doesn't sound good.
I mean, either way, if they decide to cut him, there's still going to be a penalty there. So you're not going to lose all 41. It's a hard cap. There's a hard cap somewhere in there. I have to look it up, but you're not going to just drop $41 million off the cap if you release him.
And getting back to the Watson thing, I think whoever gets him is going to be giving up their future for at least a couple of years. I keep thinking in the back of my head, like one of the better sports movies, not better sports movies, but a good sports movie, the Draft Day thing. When he traded away his first 3 draft picks, and he's like, I want them all back.
That doesn't happen though.
But what I'm saying is, like, people are saying give up 4 first rounders, and all that. If you even gave up 2 first rounders and 2 second rounders, that's a couple of years of no drafting in the first couple rounds. So you better hope Deshaun Watson is your savior and can help your team for the next 2
years. Here's my take on that.
You can do that, honestly.
Miami could.
Because the Dolphins have the Houston picks. So the Dolphins.
Here's my issue with that. Right? Is what is on an average GM and coach's life expectancy with one team? It can't be more than 5 years, right?
I'd say 4 to 5
On
years.
average, probably.
So really, realistically, I mean, it's so important to get a quarterback. Like we all would understand.
Uh-oh.
Billy's gone. Look at Jeff, though. 3 first-rounders, a player, and a second-rounder. That, I think, plays in what Quinn's talking about. That would be Miami.
I mean, Miami can get rid of their first 2 and their second-rounders for that and give up Tua.
Yeah.
And get Deshaun.
Do players have too much say in this anymore? I think they do.
The ones that have the no contract clause do, or the no trade clause do.
I'll take Deshaun over Baker in a heartbeat. As much what?
Yeah,
I just want to know why.
You would too?
I would too.
Wow.
Deshaun's still young. He can throw it a little bit better, a little more accurate than Baker. I mean, I get it. Baker and Peyton Manning, all that crap. I get it. I understand it. Deshaun's just better. He has better talent in my mind.
That's interesting.
Wow.
That's a scenario where I'm taking Baker Mayfield. I'm like, I got my guy. Like,
yeah.
I feel like Cleveland fans and a lot of people have gotten so used to turning the page so quickly on the next quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, all right, yeah, he got us to the first round. All right, turn the page.
Who can get us further now? Let's go find out.
Like
there's no say that Baker's going to take that next step. When he had that good rookie year, his sophomore year.
What has Deshaun Watson done in the playoffs? It's not like he's holding trophies out of each year saying, hey, guys, look at me.
I mean, yeah, I get it. I understand that. But
even when he had D-Hop and J.J. Watt, and like what has he done? What? Show me. He's got good stats, but when you're behind every game, you're going to throw the ball.
He has great stats.
Congratulations.
Stats didn't get him wins, didn't get him in the playoff.
Yeah.
Hasn't won him any kind of trophies. So.
When you're throwing all the time, you're gonna put up stats.
Eli Manning was terrible, and he's got 2 Super Bowls. So
if he sits out, the Texans can fine him $55,000 a day if he sits out. Jeff, if you repeat yourself, we're gonna fine you $55,000. Like,
I'm so mad I lost my train of thought in that whole thing. Oh, I remember now. It just came to me. My issue with that is what is a coach's average? It's 4 or 5 years. So realistically, you're not really betting your future. You're betting your future on a quarterback because it's the most important position anywhere. So if you're giving up 4 or 5 years, I get it. It's a lot. It's not every day where we just trade away consecutive years and picks in any league. We've only seen it done one time with RG3 for the most part with the 3 years.
Dude, like look how far that put the Redskins back. Look how far it's taken the Browns to find a franchise quarterback, and now people are ready to go.
I would argue right now, okay, how many first round picks have the Browns had that stuck around after a second contract?
You have, and I don't know if you caught the back end of this conversation, but I would argue that the Browns and their fan base and their front office have gotten so used to rotating the quarterbacks out that they don't even know when they have a good one.
No, what I'm trying to say is how many players have – the question I asked is how many players have the Browns drafted in the first round? Take the quarterbacks out. We already get the long list of quarterbacks. Just players in general in the first round have stuck around for a second contract. There's a whole lot of Justin Gilberts on that list, Courtney Brown's on that list.
Oh, sure. I mean, there's
a whole lot of them.
Right. Le'Veon Bell lost $856,000 a game sitting out that year and now playing in the Super Bowl. They'll deal Watson while he has value. Now, let me ask you this. And this isn't the salty Steelers fan. This is a legitimate question. People are saying Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown like they're actually part of the team.
Antonio Brown didn't even play in the last game.
Le'Veon Bell has like 4 touches for 7 yards or something stupid like that. They're not primetime players, and people want Steelers fans to feel bad about it. I don't get it. I don't understand that part. Like, they're not featured players in the offense. They have 1 touchdown between them in the postseason. So I don't know if that's like a knife in the back of the Steelers, because it doesn't hurt me. I go, okay, great. Like, we got all the tread on those tires. So this is flirting with going down the path of the NBA. Agree. Somebody else said that. Paige said it about the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
it's turning into this.
Yeah, a little bit it is, yeah.
Deshaun just has to make that play, make a play at any moment ability. Guy's a superstar. Put him in the right market. He's the hottest commodity in the NFL.
That would show that, the dad has to be the mom.
I mean, I pulled up the stats for Baker and Deshaun, and Deshaun's just better. Stat-wise.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah, he's just stat-wise, he's better.
Does Deshaun Watson have 2 stud running backs behind him?
No, he doesn't. So you put him with those 2, and you put him with dynamic receivers.
I don't think the Browns are in the running for Deshaun Watson.
No, I don't know. No, the Browns are got to be great though.
Although didn't the Texans just sign John Dorsey or something like that as assistant GM or something? The same guy that loved Baker and drafted him.
I like John Dorsey. He actually made me fear the Browns. He did something right.
Bell ran for 328 yards.
That's
328
and 2 touchdowns on 82 attempts.
Man, I'm scared.
Averaged 4 yards a touch.
Browns should have had D-Watt to begin with, but no, let's trade him.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
I'm a Steelers fan. Should have dealt Bell when he had value, like the Texans will deal Watson. I get it. I understand that.
There was a backup plan though for Bell when
there is not. You know what the backup plan is? James Conner, and he is like a Fabergé egg.
Was Conner there when Bell was there? Like that last year?
Yes.
I know
he's a rookie or second year.
The year that Bell held out, I believe, off the top of my head, was the year Conner went to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
What was the year before? Because that would have been when you could have traded him.
And Brown had 483 and 4 touchdowns.
Dorsey with Jeff and the Lions.
I knew that Dorsey got something somewhere.
Yeah, Dorsey went to Detroit.
All right, fine. Send him Baker up there for whatever. Why not?
Stafford?
Sure.
No, I could not handle Jeff Bezos as a freaking Browns fan.
Get on the bus, Jeff!
Have you ever seen – is anybody a Parks and Recreation fan at all? Okay. If Jeff turned into a Browns fan, it would be the episode where Tammy One shows up and Ron – goes out and gets he says Godspeed, puts the backpack on and just runs away. That would be me leaving YSN. That would be it. I'd shut it down right now. I could not handle Bezos as a Browns fan. Oh, here we go. I guess we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. He's a glutton for punishment.
Hey Jeff, you want to put a wager on that one? Let me know, because I'll take that wager. 10-6. You're gonna trade Matt Stafford
on that one. I'll put all my Bitcoin on it too.
Bitcoin, by the way, we are loving Bitcoin here at YSN right now because Quinn and I are on Bitcoin Watch on Coinbase. Are we still flying?
I'm gonna pull it up right now. Oh yeah.
Let it burn, baby. Let the world burn. We got Bitcoin. No federal regulations.
Yeah, we don't like government money.
Let's see what else we got to talk about today. All right, YSN Rundown. Tonight on your sports network, January 28th, you have Lakeview versus South Range. Stevie Pav will have that call, and we've got Champion versus Liberty. The school's going to pick that one up for us. Britt, he's going to have Girard versus Jefferson. Anthony's going to have Louisville versus Waterloo. That game probably around, 6:15 or so because it's a JV two-quarter game. Mineral Ridge and McDonald. Jake's going to have that for us, so we appreciate Jake. Silac on the call. I will have United versus Valley Christian. That game scheduled for 6:20 as well. And we will also, rounding out, is going to be Pauley with Western Reserve and Jackson Milton at a 6 p.m. start or around there.
Side note there, Vuletic is 12 rebounds away from 1,000.
Get it, buddy. Get it. That means I got to make a graphic between now and then. All right. Boys basketball, 2 games
I feel
on
myself
the network
getting
tonight.
kicked right now.
What? What?
You feel yourself getting what? Kicked?
Internet.
Oh,
Internet.
Yep.
See, because that's his natural face. Like, let's put this up for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, he faked me out. He faked me out.
I was like, he's too still. But hold on, there's something there. And I saw his eyes move.
I just feel it, man. You guys start black screens and start spinning. I'm like, whew. Let me tell you something. Somebody's getting a call in about 12 and a half minutes.
Two more games. We got Rick with Lisbon and Quinny.
Big George Peoples coming to town.
George Peoples is going to steal your lunch.
We'll see.
No, I'm not.
I don't know anything about them, honestly.
I'm not even talking about the game. I'm just talking about he's going to pick you up and toss you around.
He'll body slam me.
Yeah. Oh, and of course we've got Ursuline versus Mooney, which is kind of a big game. Kind of a big game here on the network tonight. So a lot of stuff going on the network tonight.
Holy War.
Yeah, the Holy War had it last night as well. Night as well, and the girls doing battle. Always a good game. Throw the records right out the window. We got all of that and more on YSN. Want to remind you about the Sideline store officially opening up tomorrow, but you can get in there today and order all your YSN gear that you want. Shirts, hats, sweatpants, everything you could. I think there's chairs, tumblers. Get on it. Represent. YSN Sideline store. It is in the comments. Check it out. Also, Detroit Mercy women's basketball program shut down over abuse allegations. You guys hear about this?
Nope.
Quinn, give us the details. You know a little bit more than most.
I mean, I don't know much about it. They've done a good job kind of keeping that quiet. But I guess the coach didn't promote like a good atmosphere. Like it was a bad situation, I guess, to explain it nicely. I guess the coach was it was like abusing players verbally and all that sort of thing. It's a very weird situation that they are in. But all the players basically said, we're done.
They quit.
We're done.
They quit.
A parent or a group of the parents wrote like a letter to the president and the athletic director and all that stuff. Basically just laying it all out there, saying like the girls don't want to play and all that stuff. And all the girls backed it and said, we're done.
Think about that. So we talk about this a lot, and society has changed a lot since I went to college, since our generation kind of went on to the next. Quinn, I'll include you in that because you're not that far behind us. But here's the thing is like, if my mom called my professor or my dad called my professor when I was in college and complained, I would be so embarrassed. Or if my mom called my coach and complained about my playing time or complained about even if there was something going on, I would be embarrassed. You reach a point where you cross that threshold, you get your diploma, you're on your own, right? A little bit. I know parents are going to be parents, they're going to protect, but you don't you can't lead that charge. Like that is a grown man, grown woman that you now have in college. They've got to lead that charge. And they've got to go through the right channels.
But they're not. But you got to think about like the generation that these kids are right now is they've had these helicopter parents for so long that mom and dad made sure they got trophies when they played things. Mom and dad made sure that it wasn't the kids' fault they got bad grades. It was the teacher's fault. So let's go blame the teachers. And like they didn't let them be independent or like take the lumps like they should have, like our folks did. I mean, like you said, if your mom or dad would have called the school, at East Palestine and said, "Wait a second, why did DJ get this grade? How about DJ earn that grade?" And that would have been the way it was. And now these kids, and we see it. I mean, all of us at some point are coaches of something, and we see it with a lot of these parents. And like it's getting worse. And that's the bad thing. It's like you can't give a kid, discipline them. You can't give a kid a bad grade because you know what? The parents are going to call. The parents are going to be. Greatest example I had was, and this was early in my coaching career, I didn't start a kid because he was late to practice every single day. And it was clear cut in the rules. If you're late to practice, you do not start. Didn't start the kid. Kid's parents complained to the head coach. Because I was the assistant head coach, I was the head JV coach. They complained to him and said, well, our son goes home every day because he's got to take his music equipment home, and then he can come to practice. Just come to practice with your music equipment. It's not, nobody's stealing it. It's your teammates. Every day he was late. I didn't start him. I had to pull the kid out of class and apologize to the kid for not starting him because his parents complained that I was told, you've got to do this to make things right. But it's clear in your rules right here.
Team rules. Team rules.
You don't start.
Did he sign it?
It was in the rules. Yes, the parents and everybody signed it. It didn't matter. So what happened? I mean, listen, and I'm a jerk. And I have no problem admitting I'm a jerk. Last 2 games of the year, kid sat at the bench and never went in the game because I figured, you know what? You're out of here anyway.
You're a jerk.
You know, I am a jerk. But, you know, the thing is like there's rules that are there. And mom and dad are going to be like hovering over. They don't let their kids take the lumps, like I said, and become that adult.
So you look at this from a different lens, right? Let's say 18, 19-year-old LeBron James, who didn't go to college, is getting shysted in the National Basketball Association. Is Gloria James going to call up the Cavs GM and say, my baby ain't playing, you better put him in, he's a number 1 draft pick? Like this is kind of what ties into the Deshaun Watson thing a little bit to me, at least personally, because the dude signed a 4-year contract for $120 million. Guess what, buddy? Sorry about your luck. You're our quarterback for the next 4 years. You signed a contract. But now it's, well, wait a minute, I'm going to do what's best for me because the odds are starting to get stacked against me. Like somebody pays you and says, listen, we want you for the next 4 years. Here's $120 million. You're probably locked in. And you and I would probably be really happy about that, being locked into that contract.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, especially if I was in Florida where I didn't have to pay state taxes. It'd be a great day.
You trying to say he's going to Miami?
I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
But
it is weird.
The thing is, though, and I've talked about it to other people, and I think on the show here too. There's an arrogance. There's a bravado to those guys when they get to that level, and they are either called elite or they are elite, where they think, well, I can write the rules. I can make this decision for myself. I'm better than your team right now, so get me out of here because right now, if I stay here, I'm going to stink. And like you said,
you want
DJ,
your cake and eat it too.
Your window closes.
That's the dumb thing. Is there might not be another team that wants to pay you $120 million over the next 4 years, and the Texans were. But here's my case. My case in point.
Kate.
Yeah. So my case would be this coach isn't doing anything that other coaches aren't doing. Nope. For the most part. Because let me let you in on a little secret.
I pulled up the article that I was reading that has all the information.
Okay.
It says it's from the Detroit News. It was the entire Detroit Mercy women's basketball roster has signed a letter to the university administration claiming that the head coach ran a program that inflicted emotional, mental, and physical abuse on the players. It says that the players were worried about retaliation and all that stuff and created a program rooted in fear.
Okay, give me physical. Like, does it cite examples of physical abuse?
No, it doesn't. But
what can you do from a physical abuse standpoint as a coach? Make them run?
Maybe grabbing their arm if they're in practice, and yanking them over and saying, you need to be here, and doing stuff like that.
That's
physical. Yeah, that would be physical.
Or you
can't do that anymore?
And you shove somebody. DJ, I totally agree with you. Like, we all grew up with, you did. If any of us played football, you screwed up
face
right
mask.
There. Yeah, face mask, grabbing you, screaming at you like that. But listen, the bad thing is those days are gone because everybody's a snowflake and everybody's like crying that like you hurt their feelings or something like that. And you know how the university fixes this? Hey, guess what? All your scholarships are gone. Start paying for college now.
Okay, where do we send? Yeah, where do we send the invoice for your tuition?
See how quick they go back to the basketball team.
Well, and here's the thing, Paul. I was D3. I went to Ohio Northern first. We're not recruited to go there, but you are courted, right? They want you to go there. They know you're paying tuition. There's no athletic scholarship. So I go my senior year. I go to Ohio Northern, proud of it, excited for it. Kid that didn't have the best grades getting into a pretty prestigious school is going to play baseball and do the broadcasting route. I sit down at my first baseball meeting, and Millen Rassick, no kidding, like one of the best guys I've ever met whenever he was doing the recruiting, sits us all down, and it's all the freshmen. He goes, for 7 months, I chased your ass all around Ohio or all around the area. You're mine now. And I thought, oh my God, this is it. Like we're not in Kansas anymore. We're not in East Palestine anymore. We're in Little Ada, Ohio, and this guy got me in, and he stamped it. He branded me, right? I didn't call my parents and tell them I made a mistake. I mean, you let it ride. You made a decision, right? The guy sold you. So I'm not on board with all 14 of them saying mental, physical, emotional abuse. But the biggest part of all of this,
there needs to be more detail.
It's the parents. The parents getting into this. If it's the team, that's a team thing. That's fine. It's the parents that jumped in, and I'm like, wait a minute. No. Like it doesn't work like that. You can't unless if it's immediate physical harm, a parent can step in, should step in. But that's an adult now, right? That's like they have to defend themselves at some point.
Yep.
Didn't this all just happen with Glen Oak girls basketball? I don't know the story about Glen Oak girls basketball. I'm sorry, Coach.
It was a different kind of scenario, similar to what some of this stuff.
Shauna, proud sponsor of YSN, says you should have seen the high school game when LeBron was in high school. They played at Beagley Center against Georgia Junior Republic. He got slammed by Georgia Junior player.
She did. I was interning at
Glorious came on the floor of an NBA game. She don't care.
Yeah, I was interning at Channel 21 when that happened, and he got fouled pretty hard. And she came beelining down the stands and hit the floor and was screaming at these guys with her little stick with his face on it, the picture that they had in the stands that night. And, yeah, she was just going nuts. They had to get her off the floor because she was screaming so bad. And I'm like, holy crap, because, I mean, George Jr. was a good team, but so was St. V's. But
fun fact, you know who played the game before that game at Beagley?
Wow, was it you, Quinn?
No, it was Lisbon.
Oh.
I'll never forget Lisbon against St. V's it was Salem. It had to be Salem.
Yeah.
Salem. And like the kid that we despise the most at Palestine, nice kid, great guy, Lucian Smith.
Yep, Lucian.
Got posterized by LeBron James. Like unbelievable. And I'll never forget watching it happen, and everybody, like my buddies and I from Palestine, Crestview, Columbiana, just like, oh, Lucian got tagged.
I could be wrong, but I believe Coach Bertolini might have gotten dunked on by LeBron too.
We don't speak of Coach Bertolini on this program.
Oh,
because
I like to remind him that he scored 2 points against LeBron, but LeBron had like 50. So
until he apologizes for the rude comments about the Pittsburgh Steelers that we had on the phone the other day, Coach Bertolini is not to be talked about on this show.
Just like McNuggies, I'm still waiting for my apology written.
Written?
Yeah. At this point, he's ducking me. He needs a written apology.
I had several parents tell me terrible things about one of my daughter's coaches. I sat through 2 practices, then sat in the car listening to how he treated the girls. The other parents were wrong. I think, it all comes down to your level of how much you're going to let happen, right? Yeah, like you go to a Detroit Mercy and you're the best player from not just your school, but probably at a D1, you're probably the best player in your Tri-County area, right? You get recruited, you go there, and maybe there's some drill sergeant technique going on at Detroit Mercy. Stop being soft, man. Like the world ain't Charmin. Like you're gonna have to use your socks sometimes and figure it out. Right?
I'd like to know how many of those guys would go back.
Girls.
And no. where I'm going with this.
Okay.
How many of those guys would go back and play for Bobby Knight if they could? How many of those guys who took physical abuse and mental abuse and whatever else that people want to say Bobby Knight did when he was in Indiana, how many of those guys would go back in a heartbeat and play for him the exact way that they did?
Probably every one of them, honestly.
Every single one.
I'll just say that I'm so glad that my parents parented me the way that they did, so I would have the I don't know, mental toughness, we'll use for lack of a better term, to deal through some of those things of coaches being in your face and being able to take that as criticism, not as conflict.
I learned something, and I'm with you. I think that's a great point, Billy. I learned something probably later than I should have, but it's good advice for everybody. If you're out there, if you ride the waves of momentum and get knocked down a peg or two, never take a criticism from someone you wouldn't take their advice. That is the best possible advice that I've ever gotten in my life. You look at the Friday nights that we go through, we talk about all the time. I have to constantly remind myself that, everybody wants a piece of us. Everybody wants a piece of you at some point. And we've talked about it's easier to burn a building down than it is to build it. But when you look at that and you think about that, if somebody says, well, you stink or you suck or you're not as good as this, would you take advice from that person? Would you actually because if you wouldn't take a compliment or advice to put it in your everyday, why take their criticism? Because it means nothing. And this is just an example. These kids are go ahead. Oh, I
gotta go.
He's
I gotta go.
Bye, Quinn. Have fun with George Peoples.
Can't wait.
You're done, man.
Can't wait. I'm gonna get a photo with him.
Can't wait.
Please do. Tell him he's YSN's favorite.
I'm gonna be like, "What's up?"
I would be like a baby to him.
Come up to his kneecap.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Be like, come here, baby.
Oh, he looks like a baby.
Bye, Quinn.
Goodbye, guys.
But that'll wrap up the better portion of our show. Anybody last comments for this before we do Berbick Farms filet and beef?
Nope.
All right, Billy, lead us off. What's your filet? Beef.
Yeah, my beef is the internet today. Dealing with that for the better part of probably 72-hour day. I know 24 hours in a day, but at least for 3 days here, with just the internet's just been a hot mess. I have a conspiracy theory on internet, and I'm not going to reveal it here for any reason, but I have talked about it to certain people on the show before, and I'm pretty sure that they believe exactly what I say. So fix my internet. You're going to be getting a call here in about 10 minutes.
Internet will be fixed in 9.
Probably.
What's your?
They're always listening, Billy. They're always listening. Mine is to go a little bit with what we were talking about. There is the kids that just like this whole helicopter. The kid can't do any wrong kind of thing, whether it's in school or whether it's on the court or the field or something like that. It's like, listen, let your kid fail and succeed sometimes on their own. Don't step in and try to fix the thing. Whether I see it coaching or whether I see it here, in the classroom, sometimes it's like, hey, listen, if your kid doesn't do the work, that's the grade they get. And that's what happens. If the kid doesn't do their work, they don't get starting time, and then you making phone calls and doing that stuff just makes it worse. And I think it's hurting our kids. It really is. I think there's hopefully going to be a swing one day that, people of my generation who got yelled at and spanked and did the things that like our parents did to us, like that, hopefully we're like instilling some toughness in our kids too, and we're not being wimps with them. But it's just it bothers me because I just sit there and think, what are you doing? Why you're just making your kid depend on you for everything. If they're depending on you now, they're going to depend on you in college. Back me up. Professor didn't give me a good grade. You're going to go bitch at your boss? I didn't get that promotion. Mom, will you call and tell the boss I deserve my promotion? Okay. Send me some snacks. Come on.
It's a waffle fries.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I just
snowflakes.
Yeah,
I guess you can say
it's tough to watch, but again, it's interesting parenting nowadays, and you can't go into, can't tell people how to parent. I'm going to helicopter parent that poor freshman you wouldn't let have a Pop-Tart.
She's so mad. She's so mad. I allow some kids to have a tab. I do. But freshmen aren't allowed to have a tab. I don't know you. I don't know, I don't know you from
What?
So, yeah, a kid asked if he could have a Pop-Tart. And I'm like, it's $1. And he goes, well, can I just put it on that tab everybody talks about? I'm like, are you a freshman? He goes, yeah. I'm like, no. And he walked away. So that was it.
I believe that's called hazing, Paul.
She was devastated last
That's
night.
hazing. You can't deny a freshman.
I can deny anybody anything in this snacks. I don't have to sell anything to anybody.
What is this? A fraternity of snacks? What is the Frito fraternity?
But if a kid, no, she was like, you need to find that kid and give him a Pop-Tart. I'm like, I don't even know who he was. That's how.
That could have been the only thing that kid ate all day today.
Yeah, man.
No, everybody gets a free lunch. You get a free lunch.
But maybe he wanted a Pop-Tart. Like he wanted to support your program.
Yeah, well, bring $1 next time.
People, you're starting a fund. People are gonna give you money just so you give that kid a Pop-Tart.
Again, I don't even know what he looks like or who he was. So
You don't know what he looks like?
No, he's not in the room.
So if there was a sketch artist that came and said, "Hey, we had a kid. He said he came in here for a Pop-Tart, and then he went out and did X, Y, Z," you couldn't even talk to a sketch artist about what he looked like.
No, because he's a freshman. I've never seen him before. He's not even in my room. He just walked in out of the hallway.
It's almost February.
He's not in here. I don't know every kid that walks the halls here.
You know everybody in South Range. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know a lot of those kids. So.
Oh my goodness. Paul is a door. We have the right to refuse service to anyone.
That's right, Kate. That's right.
The snack Nazi.
Hey, cash money.
No Pop-Tart for you.
Yeah.
We're going to start a GoFundMe for this kid. We don't even know who he is.
No, we don't know who he is. Just a freshman class, Oh, she was so mad. She was like, I watched her go, I feel terrible for that kid. And I'm like, bring $1. Bring $1. No.
Look at this. Barstool has the Barstool Fund. We're going to have the Pop-Tart Fund for these damn kids. All right.
Scumbag move, Paul. Scumbag move.
My beef is this damn cough, man. I cannot get rid of this thing. And then again, I tried the Tussin. It's disgusting. I don't know who said that's better tasting, but you're a dirty liar. I hate it. I hate Robitussin. Dimetap, I can get behind Dimetap. I'm pretty sure I chugged Dimetap as a kid when mom wasn't looking. So I'm probably the reason that you have to be 18 for those now. So that's going to do it for our show. We're 10 minutes over in the overtime. Billy, thanks for joining us today. Paul, thanks for joining us today. And you at home, thanks for joining us today. Thanks to all our sponsors. And of course, again, thanks to you at home for continually tuning in to YSN. 300,000 views in January and counting. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 to 4, right here on YSN.